All right, all you cool cats and kittens. Ha ha ha, I couldn't help myself. But seriously, if you are having problems, ask your teachers. Your teachers are there to help you. Ask them. All right, so today we're going to graph, and we are going to graph by hand, but you can also graph on your graphing calculator. I can give you the buttons on the calculator, and then I'm going to do it on Desmos because that's what I have on my iPad, but I'll give you the buttons that you can use. All right, so you can't graph a log. You have to change its form. So we are going to graph the exponential form of this. So what's my base? My base is 1/3 to the y equals x. So we're going to make an XY chart. And I'm going to put in values for y because y is my exponent. I don't want to put in values for x because that's going to be hard to create something that equals those values. So I'm going to put in -1, 0, and 1. So for my first one, I have 1/3 to the -1. We can never have a negative exponent. So what happens is we take the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 1/3 is 3 to the first, which gives us 3. So 3 -1. 1/3 to the 0 power, anything to the 0 power is 1. And then 1/3 to the first power is 1/3. So go over 1/3 and up 1. And so our graph is going to look kind of like that. It's a little sketchy there. Now let's do it on the graphing calculator, or actually Desmos. So I have y equals, I'm going to type in log. I'm going to hit this a sub b to give me the base. It will not let you put in the fraction here, so we're going to have to put in point. I'm going to do 333. And put the x value. And there's our graph. So if I'm looking at the domain, my domain is going to start from 0 to infinity. I don't have anything past that. It's never going to hit it because your asymptote is actually x equals 0. So domain is going to be 0 to infinity. My range on this is going to be -infinity to infinity, and my asymptote is going to be x equals 0. You sound like you're tap dancing, Abby. All right, so let's look at this next problem. I know you're just going to want to put it into your calculator, so let's do that. Now, if you put it into the graphing calculator, if you hit alpha window 5 on the TI-84, that's going to let you put in your base and everything else. So we're going to put this into Desmos though. So let me get rid of this. Log base. So it's going to be base 2 of x. And then we have -1. So that -1 is going to shift everything down 1. So where is it crossing your x axis at? This time it's at 2, 0. So let's go back. So it's here and it's going like this. Okay. What is your domain going to be? Your domain's going to be 0 to infinity again. Your range is going to be -infinity to infinity. And your asymptote is going to be x equals 0 because this was shifted down 1. It's going to stay the same. The only way your asymptote is going to move is if it moves left and right. Okay, so now let's look at the natural log of negative x. Natural log of negative x. Let's get our calculator. So on your calculator, on the TI-84, all you have to do is hit the natural log, and on this one, I just hit ln, parentheses, negative x. And see, with that negative x, what do you think it should have done? It should have flipped over the y-axis. Okay, so it's a reflection over that y-axis. So we start here and we're going back this other direction. Ooh, it's really, there we go, kinda. So for our domain, it's gonna be negative infinity to 0, parenthesis. The range is still going to be negative infinity to infinity, and your asymptote stays at x equals 0. So for all of these problems, you can put it on your graphing calculator. And yep, we are finished. We're looking at section 6.3c on big ideas. Have a good weekend.